All right. Say hi.
Hi, Giovanni.
Okay, and you are?
Caleb.
And you are?
Emmett.
All right. So we're going to do a quick walkthrough of casting bullets for Giovanni. So we start off with, if we get the kid with the flashlight.
Lead.
So that's all lead that we melt down. I use one of these fryers in a cast iron pot and melt it down. And then can you grab the mold back there on top of the pot?
There is one behind the pots too.
That's fine.
This one?
Yeah. So we
Sorry.
melt down the lead from lots of things, like point over here. So those are all bullets that I've picked up from the range that are all lead and that kind of thing. And then we heat all this up and we cast it into this. And this is just a mold.
A mold.
And we get those bars from it. And then from that, we come over to this guy over here, which I believe is a 20-pound pot. And this is probably about the size of a grapefruit. And what you do is what?
It's the size of a grapefruit.
Well, this right here is. This thing right here is about the size of a grapefruit.
I thought it was like a size.
Okay, don't do that.
Grapefruit.
So it's got a knob back there so you can adjust the heat as far as like how hot you want it to get. Basically just plugs into the wall. Hold that right there. So what you do, go get me the mold that is on the stool over there. So this gets hot up to about 700 degrees. No, that hold it right there. Okay. So this turns the lead into a liquid, and then this handle right here goes up and down and allows you to drop the lead out of the pot.
Wait, that's the mold?
This is one of the molds. So this mold is for 223 or 556 projectiles. And basically you warm up the mold. This is called the sprue plate. So you would take it and you put it underneath here, and the lead would drop down into those holes. And then once you watch it, it turns from like a shine to a frost. And when it turns to the frost, you take a hammer and you knock this off, and that takes the sprue plate and knocks what's called the sprue off, which is like this. So it would be on top of there like that. Right there. Right there. So this would be the sprue. So the sprue plate knocks off this sprue and leaves you with a nice flat piece on top. And we'll walk over this way. Let's go that way. Keep going. And that leaves you with, for example, this is for a 357. So that's a 357, and you can see where the sprue plate got knocked off the top right there.
Can I see?
Well, don't put the flashlight on it. The flashlight's too hot. See that circle? That's where it knocks the sprue off. So then for a 223, hold the jar. No, underneath. Just hold the sides of it. Hold the sides of it. So this is a 223 projectile. If it'll focus. Put your hand behind my fingers. Flat.
Like this?
No, behind.
Video for Giovanni.
So that gets you a better idea. And the piece to where my thumbnail is called a gas check. So what that does is it allows, where's the gas checks?
Here, maybe you should do your naked dance for him.
No.
Okay. I don't know where my gas checks went. Gas checks are little copper cups that, oh wait, here's,
Oh, this is some Diane made for Sam.
hold on.
Some chicken. Just plain chicken.
So.
And they will make
these are gas checks. It's just a little copper cup that goes behind it, and that allows you to shoot lead projectiles out at a higher velocity. So some that I've done that I haven't gas checked yet are the... We'll come over here so I can see them. So this is a 308 caliber. So that is .6, 308, and so on and so forth. You can see the back of it. Hold your hand out flat. The back of it right here is narrowed down, so that would allow the gas check to fit on there and still fit through the chamber. This has been powder coated, like I was saying. So you take a standard lead one, and I can explain the powder coating to you later. Emmett also
and this
has...
is the bottom of it.
That's correct. Emmett also has one here, which is for the 50 Beowulf, or 500 Smith & Wesson. And
Can you show him all the bullets?
you can see
Beasley?
the difference between... Pay attention, please. I'm trying to show something here. The difference between the 308 and the 50 cal. Significantly different as far as size and shape. And I'm trying to think if there's... So these are all
Dad, can you show
308 I've done.
Can we show him this bullet?
No, those are all spent. So then powder coating. I have a toaster oven and basically the tray right there. So you take the lead projectiles after they're done from that pot that we discussed, and I put them in the toaster oven and put those back. And so when they're at this stage, I take them and put them in the toaster oven at like 150 for 10 minutes. So that heats up the lead enough. And then what I do is I put them in this tub, and that's got dried powder in it. So this is powder coating powder. This is for fishing lures, but I've used it for the it's about the equivalent of powdered sugar. So once they're heated up in the toaster oven, I take them and put them in that tub and basically swirl them around, and the powder attaches to it. And then I'll put them back on a tray and put them in the toaster oven at 400 for 10 minutes. And then that seals in the powder coat and makes them hard. And I'll show you how hard the powder coat is with one of these 50 Beowulf. Where is a sledgehammer? So I'll show you how solid compared to, say, a Full Metal Jacket. So this is probably a 5-pound sledgehammer. And you can see how it squishes it down, and the powder coating is still intact and is still totally fine. But this is currently, it's almost too hot to touch because of the amount of energy and force from squishing it with, no. Amount of energy and force. Ow, 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 ow.
Is it hot?
Yes, it's really hot. Ow. But you can see how the powder coating still stays intact. So that allows you to push this lead bullet at Full Metal Jacket, or at least copper plated velocities when it comes to reloading.
But how is it so hot?
Because when you take the hammer, touch it.
Can I touch it? Oh, how is it that hot?
Because
Ow.
I told you, you take the hammer and squishing the lead from the piece that it was to the piece that it is now.
Oh,
the force
it's
of it.
hot inside?
No, the force of the metal getting moved makes heat.
But this thing's freezing cold.
Yeah, I know. So then, like I just took that example and put it over here. These are all 223 projectiles that didn't do so well out of the powder coating aspect of it. Or if they come out, you know, the powder coat doesn't come out perfectly good, all I do is take it and, so here's another sprue plate. So that's the sprue from the sprue plate. So that's where the bottom of the bullet, or the bottom of the bullet would be. Here's other ones that I've shot that I pick up, so you can see how well it mushrooms. Focus. That looks like it's a 45. So yeah, I hope that explains it for you. If you have any questions, let me know.